Hey there guys, TC Made with TC Gaming. Wanted to bring you another video in our Action RPG Revisited series. This one we're going to talk a little bit about the structure of the project with regard to items and how it's laid out using the manager. And we're also going to create a new potion, just something simple to get our feet wet in here, and we'll start with that. So if you go into the project, you go to Edit Project Settings. What you'll see in here is that they have something that is called the Asset Manager. And I believe Asset Manager was introduced right around the same time that this project came out. Actually, it was one of the things that they talked about, but they never really covered exactly what it does. So if you look at the Asset Manager, what this is it's kind of a structure that says, you know, if I have maps, I'm going to put them in this game maps folder. And so the system, by telling it where things are located, can automatically detect them and add them into your game content without you having to go through a bunch of hoops to identify new stuff. And one of the things that if you look in here, there's an RPG item base class, potion item, and then there's a directory for that, which is games, items, potions. And they do the same thing for some other stuff in here we can kind of drill down through. But basically looking at this, I mean, if you go back up here, there's a primary asset for this directory for game, and then the rules. But, you know, again, your maps and some of your potions and stuff like that can automatically be detected by just dropping them into these levels. So over here is RPG skill items, and that directory for that is items skills. Down here is one for tokens. They go into the RPG or game items tokens folder, so on and so forth. There's your weapons. They go, you guessed it, into games, items, weapons. So if we wanted to make a new potion and we wanted to get it into our inventory, we don't really have to do much. What they recommend, and what I recommend also, is that we just duplicate and modify. So I'm going to hit play. You can also do this with Alt-P. I'm going to stretch this down a little bit, or slide this down a little bit so we can see a little bit more. I'm going to hit Alt-P to enter, and as soon as the game starts, I'm going to hit the Tab key. This is going to pause our background game and bring us into our inventory menu. So I'm going to take a look here where the potions are at. And in the potions portion of this, you'll see that I have health and mana. I have a health potion and a mana potion. And these are, 25 souls or whatever. There's also a button in here that's enabled for you to be able to add more souls to your game. So like if you didn't have any money and you want to just try this out, you can just hit plus and add this. And the way the game's set up is every time you kill an enemy, you collect a number of souls. I think it's a random number between 1 and 3 souls or whatever. And it also, I believe, adds time back to the clock so that you can complete the waves. If you don't kill any enemies, the timer runs out and you die. So, again, if I want to add another potion in here, it's as simple as I'm going to go out here and hit the Shift Escape to stop the game. It's as simple as going and locating the different elements that make up a potion. Now, we're using the gameplay ability system in Action RPG. So the gameplay ability system has a gameplay ability and a gameplay effect. And a lot of times they'll use what's called a data asset to drive the details of how the data item or data element is set up. Kind of like a data table, but it's a little bit more portable and a little bit more independent. Instead of having rows of things to sort through, it's a very specific asset that they just go refer to right off the pointers here. So you'll see what I'm saying. If I go down here into items, we have that items potion directory, and here's where our potion death's door is, which was the one that's health plus mana, and then potion health and potion mana. So if I wanted to create a new health potion, let's take a look at what this one does. This one just defines our properties. So here's our item icon, image size, how many of them we can have, what level we need to be in order to collect these and have them and everything. And basically defines the different attributes of this particular potion. And you'll see down here the granted ability. So a lot of the things with gameplay ability system is granting things to a character, adding tags to it, checking for the existence of tags, etc. So on this particular thing for the potion health, it says recovers 50% HP, and it grants the ability of GA potion health. So if we hit this little folder icon, I'm going to slide this off to the side. it pulls us out here to GA Potion Health, and we'll open that up and look at that. And again, this has a lot of things in there. We were in here earlier changing our montage for drinking the potion. So that's the montage that we play when we invoke this ability. It tells us the different types of things that we have in here, the ability tags that go along with it. Just you can scroll through here and kind of check this out, all the different options and everything. You can have it so that it cancels certain abilities with tags or blocks abilities with tags. This would be more for like, shields or some type of like an immunity potion, or if you wanted to put on a shield potion or any of that type of stuff. But in here, the big thing we're looking for is that it has this target gameplay effect classes. And again, this pretty much defines more of like the basic attributes of it. Or not, I shouldn't say the attributes of it. It tells you how it's going to be utilized, what it's going to do. It's going to go and fire off whatever happens in the potion health, and it's going to use the montage to play and drive some of the behaviors in there as far as when the potion actually takes place. In the montage portion of this, just real quick here, these montages have little events in them. Notifies they're called in the animation notifies, and this gets read by the blueprint to say that at this exact moment is when the character actually uses the item. So see he's tipping his hand back. Well, right there is where it's going to fire the actual use of the potion. Okay. And that tag will, again, be read by the script that's associated with this. Usually there's an animation notify and a behavior or a script that follows along with it. If we go into the GE Potion Health that is part of this effect class, we'll hit this little magnifying glass again, and we'll pull up GE Potion Health. This is the thing that actually tells it what to do. What is the effect of using this, right? One's the ability that it grants, the other one's the effect that it invokes. So over here, if we expand these out, we can see that it goes and it takes the attribute of health, so RPG attribute set.health, and we add to the health a scalable float, in this case of 0.5, to our starting stats, which is going to affect the float magnitude of the player max health. And a lot of these will have two variables. Most of your RPG tags have like a base value and then a max value. And then that way when you level up, it'll affect your base value. And if you have some temporary buff, it'll go to max. But it needs to remember where you started to go back to that after something gets atrophied. But, in here, basically this is where we want to affect all of our changes for our new potion. So what we can do to make our lives easy is we just go back and we do this all in proper order. So I'm going to go back to skills, or not skills, I'm going to go to potions rather. Excuse me, and what I want to do is right click and duplicate my potion health. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to give it a new name. Now I'm going to call mine potion _ vitality. Just a simple name. And I'm putting that in the items potions directory because that's where the system for the asset manager wants my potion to be. Games, items, potions. So I'm in game, content and game are synonymous. Items, potions. I've created potion vitality. If I go into potion vitality, I can come over here and say this affects potion health. So I'm going to go to the health potion, GA, potion health. Right click and duplicate that and call this GA potion, GA potion vitality. And then GA Potion Vitality fires off and goes over here and affects GE Potion Health. I'll go get GE Potion Health. I'm going to right click and duplicate that. And I'm going to rename this to GE _ Potion Vitality. So now what we want to do, now that we've created our assets and everything, I'm going to save all that. What we want to do is in our GE Potion Vitality, we can go in here and modify what this actually does. So in this case, I'm just going to say that this affects our value by 0.8, which is 80% of the player's max health. And I am going to save that. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to go to the GA portion of this. And now instead of going to potion health, We want to pick this drop down and go down here and say this affects GE potion vitality. I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back to the container here, and we want to call this, instead of a health potion, we want to rename this to vitality potion and say that it affects GA potion vitality. GA potion vitality there, and we're good. So now we have a potion vitality data asset calling GA potion vitality gameplay ability, which calls the GE potion vitality gameplay effect. And when it gets invoked, it hits a 0.8 for our starting stat on the player max health. And the montage that gets played is this item potion montage again. That stuff we can leave the same. You can change the icons for it and all that kind of stuff, make it look a little bit, more decorative or whatever if you wanted to. All that stuff's fine, but the core of this is that you're just duplicating and modifying the values on the back end of what the thing actually does. So now if I go back in here, and I haven't done anything other than just add that to the data directory. When the game starts up, again, I'm going to hit the tab key and go into my inventory, and I'll look at potions. And just like that, I've got a vitality potion in here. That vitality potion got picked up because when the system opened up, it said, let me go look at all the potions in the potion directory. Let me go look at all the weapons in the weapon directory. Let me go look at the tokens, so on and so forth. And it automatically picks this up. Now, in this case, I had 226 souls or whatever, so I could afford to buy a vitality potion. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm and buy one. Actually, I guess I'll buy a couple of them just to show you. I'm going to confirm that. And I'm going to hit the back key and go back into my thing here. And I'll let myself take a little bit of damage. But you can see I now have my 6 vitality potions over here. So I'm going to take a little bit of damage here. All right, we'll kill this guy. And I'm going to hit the R key. And you see that it restored my health. So my potion works. And all I had to do was duplicate it and change a couple of settings. Now, one of the things we noticed too in here is that when you first start the game, I'm just moving the mouse back and forth, and it lets me run and change directions by just moving the mouse side to side. As soon as you leave this and go into the store menu and you go back, you no longer have that ability. The mouse is not there. You have to hold down the left mouse button to get that to go back to scrolling and spinning. So I'm going to take a look at that offline and get you a fix for that. But in the meantime, if you do go in there and you come back out, you have to hold down the left mouse button to rotate your character, or you can use the WASD keys. And I'll take a look at that offline and we'll fix that in the next episode. But I'm going to leave this one as a short one again. This is just talking about the structure of the asset manager and how we can duplicate an existing asset and just put it in the right directory, and it just automatically works. Okay? Again, my name's TC, made with TC Gaming. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. And we're going to go through, the first thing I want to do is I want to get our basic core of the project kind of set up with, making sure we have the ability to get a potion, a weapon, stuff like that. Then we'll start expanding out into how the gameplay actually works with the timers and the level spawners and all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to jump ahead and look at any of that stuff on your own, you can do that. If you go into the content directory for where the BP player character's at, everything that you're looking for is pretty much in one of these things here. So BP player character is in this folder for the blueprints. As I mentioned before, your BP player character has a lot of behaviors on it that you can go and look at. Here's the one that handles your damage messages, your stat changes, your creation of weapons and current skills. These are your input actions for using your item and your rolling and all that kind of stuff. You come down here a little bit further, there's stuff in here for the player's health bar, which basically sets up your widgets. And there's your mana bar, low health screen alerts. These are all debugs for auto battle mode and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things I want to do in here, this auto battle mode, we want to check this, because one of the things in here is that this automatically finds your enemy and rotates it towards the enemy. And one of the things I want to do, if we can't use this, I want to come up with a way that we can actually target an enemy and face it, because in this game, it's very difficult to face an enemy. You get very easily spun around and your character doesn't try and attack them. So what I'd like to do is to be able to target an enemy and lock on them until they're defeated. Then you go to the next one, you can toggle whatever you want to do. But we want to do that. And then the other thing I talked about, the asynchronous loading. I realized that I talked about it, but I didn't really show you much about the asynchronous loading. But if you do look at I think it's going to be in BP Game State, maybe? No, not Game State. Is it in BP Game Mode? There's logic in here somewhere there's the enemy manager. It's your enemy spawns, start new waves, all that kind of stuff. But I think that even in your event graph, there's like your start timer. I think in here you'll find there's a thing that comes in here, and there should be a thing that says, like, down here at the start game, start enemy spawn, start timer. Somewhere in here there's things with loading screens, and what it'll do is it'll see if I can find loads. There's loads not in there. It's in one of these BP game instance, maybe. There's your save games. Load all the store items up front. Yeah, see, here's your async load primary asset list, but there's also one somewhere for screen gone black. And you want to do an asynchronous loading of the maps and stuff that come up, as I was talking about the other night. There's going to be one in here that says something about load a level. There's a loaded level. Load game level. Right here. So this one removes all the widgets, fades in and shows the loading screen, and then opens up the level. We're going to change these out to do asynchronous loading so that we don't have to worry about persisting variables from map to map, and also that we don't bog our system down pretty heavily while this is going on. And with that async loader I was talking about, you can actually get that off the marketplace. There's a little bit of reference to that in that doc that I linked in the other video. It'll be linked in this video as well. So if you want to jump ahead, you can go check out some of those things and kind of get prepped, because we will be going through the gameplay loop logic. Again, the plan I have is that we're going to have, we'll run through an area. We get into an area, it kicks out a spawn, or just starts spawning enemies or whatever with a spawner that we can see. We defeat the enemies, kill the spawner, the spawn stops. We collect our loot, do whatever we're doing, go into the next level, so on and so forth, same thing. Eventually you get to a main area where you're going to have the boss spawn. You'll go through your wave loop there, and when you beat the wave, the 4 or 5 waves at the end of that, you'll be able to go on to the next map. And again, using those maps, we'll probably use the Dungeon Architect plugin to randomly generate those maps for us using some of the assets that are available. I was switching it out to some of the Synthi stuff, just to show you how to do that, because that's always a hot topic with everybody's how to use these low poly levels. So I might just do it inside of a single dungeon and maybe just have it go that you can go from room to room. But I still want to give you the async loading level logic. So again, my name's TC Mate with TC Gaming. Sorry for rambling on there at the end. Just trying to get as much squeezed into these videos. I don't have a lot of time, and I'm trying to get as much compressed into an episode as I can. And I'll catch you guys in a future video coming up real soon. Take care and stay safe.